Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. I hope that you guys are enjoying the videos, that you're learning from them and that you're finding them useful and applicable in your own life. In this video, I wanted to kind of continue my series on introversion and why and how an introvert can live in this mad extroverted world. And one of the things people message me about all the time, it's like one of the most frequent questions I get asked all the time is, how are you supposed to be an introvert in school, especially when there's a lot of group work involved? I empathize with you guys, I really do, and it's a really difficult world to live in, especially when you're an introvert. You can't talk in public, or you have a hard time speaking in public, and you get all these presentations you have to do and all these group works, and everyone speaks over you and no one allows you to gives you a chance to speak, and everyone thinks that you're so quiet, and everyone thinks that you didn't even contribute to the project because you didn't say anything, because you weren't unable to say anything. So I do empathize with you guys, but as I've said before, and unfortunately or fortunately, whatever the case might be, we live in a world where we need to pretend to be extroverts. I guess it's one of the crosses we have to bear. I don't know if that's a very dramatic way to say it, but it is just the way it is, and we can't use the excuse that, oh, I'm an introvert, because no one's going to understand that. They're going to be like, so what? So you're an introvert, what? You're not going to contribute to school, you're not to the project, you're not going to speak in public? I mean, what? What are you going to do? You can't do that. You have to live in the world that is designed for extroverts. It's just the way it is. It's something you cannot change. You can't go to a cave and live there. It's not possible. We have to live in the real world. That's the one thing that I don't like about introverted people or about INFJs, is that we kind of pretend like we can live in our own imaginary world and ignore what's going on in the real world. It doesn't work that way. We have to live in the real world. You can go into your imaginary world when you're by yourself, and I do that a lot. When I'm on my own, I spend a lot of time in my imaginary world. But when I'm outside in the real world, I spend my time in the real world, because that's where the real stuff happens. You know, that's where my friends and family are. That's where I can make money. That's where I can buy food and take care of myself, my physical, real self. And so it's really important for you guys to realize the difference. You cannot live in your imaginary world. It's just not possible. It's not going to work, right? And so when you have group work, and I had a lot of group work and a lot of presentations in school because of the course that I chose was business. And it meant that I was doing 100 presentations, and I had so many groups to be part of, which is really, really tough, because a lot of those classes I had no friends in, because I was an introvert. I had no friends. And so I would end up being in groups with random strangers. All of the different introverts, I guess, of the class would kind of get together, or all the people who no one else wanted to be in groups with ended up in a group together with me, which meant either that I was doing all the work for the group, or the fact that they would not even let me speak in the group because I was too timid and too shy. Probably if you look at me right now, you're not going to think that about me, but it was the case back then. I was so timid and so shy. I was unable to speak up for myself. I got bullied all the time because of that. I think that's the reason I'm so aggressive and so strong now, because it's like a counteract to that. I'm never going to be like that anymore, right? So how did I deal with it? How did I learn to do all of this stuff? Now, first of all, presentations. I knew and I understood that communication is one of those skills that I would have to really develop as an introvert, because I need to live in this world, and all of this world is all about presentations and about communicating in public and communicating in a loud manner with other people. It was one of those things that I really need to learn as an introvert. And so I really trained myself. I went to Toastmasters, even though it was one of the toughest things for me to do. I puked all the time because I was so scared. But I did it. You know, I practiced every day to speak in public. I would go up to random strangers and talk to them. I forced myself out of my shell because I knew that I had to live in that world. And I knew eventually that I could not run away from doing this all the time. There's no way. You have to. The field that I had chosen, marketing and sales, I would have to do this all the time. Presentations, speaking to people, speaking to strangers. And so I forced myself out of that skill over and over again, doing it, practicing on my own with other people, and that was how I got out of there. And eventually it became easy for me. When practice makes perfect, it is the truth. About group work, it was really important for me to set the boundaries right away and set them straight on who I am, what my skills are, and for them to give me the right work, right? And so it's important for us as an introvert to speak up for ourselves. It is really, I know it's very hard for us to do this. It's very hard for us to say things to others like, this is what I want, this is what I can do, give me some work because this is what I'm capable of, right? Now, from the beginning, whenever I'd be in a group, I tell them from the beginning, this is who I am, this is what I like to do. I love to do research, so please, if you have research work, give it to me. I don't like to speak in public. I don't like to explain myself, so don't give me that work. And so as soon as I get into a new group with people who did not know me, I would inform them of my strengths and weaknesses right away, right? Now, as soon as they knew that, most people would be like, well, I don't care what your strengths are. I'm going to give you whatever is necessary. If that was the kind of group I was in, I was like, all right, cool. I can work with that, and I would just have to deal with it as best I could, right? But most people, most of my groups, except for one or two, were really nice and really kind, and they understood where I was coming from, and they gave me the kind of work that was suited to my skill level. So they didn't ask me to do presentations, someone else would do those, but I spent all of my time doing research. I was fine with that. I liked doing research. Again, everything that we do in this world has to be about communication. So I really, really implore you guys, if you are the kind of person who has a hard time communicating your words, communicating your ideas, get used to it, get comfortable with it, and start practicing it. Put yourself in front of a camera and start speaking into the camera about things that you're interested in. Start explaining yourself to the camera. That's what I used to do. I bought a tripod. I was never going to do these videos on YouTube. I was just doing these videos for myself, really. I was practicing for myself because I knew that I was terrible at communication. I was terrible at conveying my ideas to the world, and I really wanted to become better at it. So I bought a tripod, I put my camera on, and I would just speak to it. I'd speak to it on a wide variety of subjects, and I was crap at it at first, as I said. I got better as time went on, and then people asked me, why don't you just post these online? And I did, and that's where it all started, right? But in the beginning, this was all just for me to understand how to communicate my ideas better. A lot of you guys messaged me saying, you're so good at, explaining yourself to the world. How do you do that? Practice, people, practice. I only am good at it because of practice. And some days I get up and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm talking about today. And when I speak, everything just kind of tumbles out and it's incoherent, it doesn't feel right, but I still put my stuff out there, even if it's crap, even if I think I made an absolute bungle of it. I still put it out there because this is not about perfectionism for me. It's about sharing my ideas and thoughts with the world in a way that is me. It's me. The way I'm doing it is just me. It's not someone else's style, it's my style. And that's what I'm imploring you guys to develop, is your communication style. You don't have to be rah, 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 and la, 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 and dancing and doing all that stuff. You do your thing. You do your communication your way. But you won't know what your way is if you've never tried it before, right? So I want you guys to try it. Try it. It's really important for you to learn to become a better communicator. One of the ways that I used to do that in the beginning, the very, very beginning, was also through voice memos. So I would just put on headphones and I connected to my phone, and I was just speak into it as not with the camera, but just voice memos, just audio. And that taught me a lot about my voice. I learned to like my voice even though I hated it. I learned to love the way I conveyed ideas. I learned how things sound. It might sound really good in here, but it might sound really crazy when you actually say it out loud, or the opposite. It might sound crazy here, but it sounds really good when you actually speak it out loud. So you're going to learn a lot from that process. I, again, implore you guys, I recommend it highly that you go ahead and do these practice skills. You're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for anyone else. You're doing it so you can be more successful in this extroverted world. We can't all go run away to a cave. We can't all go live in a forest. We cannot do that. We need to live here in the real world. And the only way we can do that is if we practice the skill of communicating to an extrovert, right? Sometimes it feels like we're communicating to a wall because they won't listen, they won't hear. But the better you become at it, the better they're going to understand as well. A lot of people that listen to my videos are extroverted people, and I think to myself, wow, what do you guys get out of that? But a lot of them message me saying that they get a lot out of my videos, which is really gratifying to me, because I can understand INFJs getting a lot out of it, but extroverts, ESFJs and ENTJs, how do they get anything out of it? It is so gratifying to me that they still are. And that's I think that's only because I've been practicing speaking in so many different ways to so many different people for so long. It's all about practice. Again, I hope this helps you guys. I hope that I've been able to answer your question. There's so much that I want to say on the topic of introversion, as I said, so I'm going to do a bunch of videos on it. But I hope that this is something that you can use in your own life. It's really, really crucial that you're able to apply these ideas into your life. Again, please do ask me any questions that you might have. I'm here to answer all your questions. So either you can comment below, or all my contact information is in the description below. So message me anytime, okay? And if I can't answer your question, I'll let you know that as well. But mostly, I hope I'll be able to answer your questions. Again, I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.